what the big deal about Cracker Jack is. Did you ever go and buy a pack of Cracker Jack thinking you're going to get a prize and find no prize in the box?
You got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me.
Freehand is beating his net at the plate. Crawford is over there watching. Good see, sir. You're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on. Oh, I must be in the front row.
Episode B this year without eyewash, and wow,
I'm a career graphic designer. I'm obviously obsessed with baseball, so combining graphic design and baseball is my favorite thing. I forced this segment years ago. It was called Aesthetics back in the day. Forced this on you, but you've come to enjoy it. I think, where we talk about the new uniforms, logos, etc. All the eyewash, all the shit that doesn't matter in baseball. But specifically over the last couple of years, we've been just inundated with Nike City Connect uniforms. That trend continued this past week with MLB and Nike barfing up 8 more uniforms for us to choke on. But one included your Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, and the Brewers, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if you felt this way about their version of like the how Nike did their like press on it, but it almost made it feel like it was a movie. Like the actual image, the welcome to the Wisco Way looks like.
Oh yeah, the videos they produce are amazing.
Yeah, it looked
and ridiculous, but
it all looks like it was like designed as like the opening title screen of a film.
Oh yeah.
Capturing
people camping out in the lakes and out in the woods, and then a baseball player would just show up in a uniform.
Welcome to the Wisco Way, capturing a statewide mindset and the new threads that are uniquely Wisconsin down to the last stitch.
Yeah, this is definitely the Wisco theme. As a huge script Wisco is across the jersey. A W logo. Now they've been Milwaukee forever, so maybe they're trying to expand to represent the whole state. I guess my question is, I've heard the term Wisco before, but I thought it was a derogatory term towards the state of Wisconsin. Like we're usually talking about Wisconsin football or something, University of Wisconsin. I've heard it referred to as Wisco, but I've never heard, I guess I don't know that many Wisconsinites or Wisconsins. Do they refer to themselves as Wisco? Like, is that common? Do you know?
Here's all I can say. I do not know, but this is what I'll say. No one from Chicago says Chi-Town.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
I agree. Fucking happen.
It feels like that kind of thing.
Yeah. We don't go.
It's like an outsider's term for that. So
yeah,
that might be a better way to put it. Yeah. This is like somebody that's never been to Wisconsin put together this whole campaign.
Like I use Wisco, to your point, in a negative way.
That's what I always connotated with, but maybe that's just you and me.
I mean, it is an abbreviation, I guess, like a quick way to say to lop off a couple syllables and say Wisco versus Wisconsin.
You're right. I think the best analogy is a Chi-Town. It just is cringy.
Yeah. But
I guess it's better than the other term I've heard, which is definitely derogatory. Scotties. Have you heard that?
That's sort of like townies.
I think it doesn't sound good at all, but so at least they avoided that.
But the best part of this segment is us having a good time reading the explanation of everything.
The verbose descriptions of all the details you don't need to know about these ridiculous jerseys.
Real quick, I'm sure this is somewhere in these ridiculous explanations, but it is like like a cobalt blue, I would say.
Oh, that's a good, cobalt. That might be the way to describe it.
Yeah, it's like
I'm surprised they didn't give it a name.
And a cross in a script looking like something a softball team might wear, which we've said a lot about these City Connect jerseys from time to time, is Wisco. And then underneath that is the number. Now, the number has this like gradient outline around it, which I'm going to get to momentarily.
That's a theme with a lot of these new Nike City Connects across the league. Gradients, which just reeks of 1990. Like, to me, which is, I mean, maybe that's what the cool kids are into again. Retro is cool, but gradients, as a designer at least, my entire career, I've avoided gradients of the patch because I think they look so tacky.
Yeah, they're not good.
And they're hard for, I came up through print production and stuff, and they're hard to reproduce properly. And maybe they were back in the day when I was when I was deep in the trenches in print production, but maybe it's not so much anymore. But I've just always avoided them. I think they look terrible. These aren't awful the way Wisco employed them, but others that we might talk about are not so good.
Yeah. So let's get started because there's a lot here. We've got
We're just getting started.
base blue. This is how this starts. So the blue we were just talking about, which I thought is like kind of a cobalt looking blue.
I think it's good.
The endless shorelines, lakes, and rivers influence our lifestyle. Whether it's kayaking the Milwaukee River, casting a line in the Eagle River, or drilling through the ice on Lake Mendota, a body of water is never still here. Wow.
I think this could all certainly apply to the Great Lakes state of Michigan, where I'm from and currently reside. This could apply to Minnesota.
Minnesota, eh?
This could apply to a lot of different places.
Chi-Town? We have a lake?
Yeah.
And a fountain.
I'm not so sure how unique this is to Wisconsin, but whatever.
They neglected to say the body of water is never still here, including dropping a turd in a toilet.
Oh my God.
Anyway. Accent cream, which is my favorite kind of cream, an accent cream.
Yeah.
The cream accent color recalls the sandy shores of the inland lakes.
Yeah.
Again, could be applied to most of the Great Lakes area. Beaches of Door County on Lake Michigan and the state's iconic sandstone bluffs.
Okay, this is interesting because I think it's a different cream they're talking about, but actually the Brewers, Milwaukee is nicknamed the Cream City because of, I think it's architecture. It's like what their buildings are made of. There's a lot of sandstone buildings, I think. So yeah, I think that kind of makes sense, but yeah, it's getting out there.
All right, here you go. The moment you've been waiting for. We hinted at it. Sunset gradient. Oranges, yellows, and blues make for a gradient as picturesque as a Wisconsin sunset.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because Wisconsin's known for their sunsets.
Yeah, I guess so. I had no idea, but I
think their sunrises would be more impressive as it comes over Lake Michigan. I mean, I know Michigan sunsets over Lake Michigan are unbelievable, but I guess whatever.
All right, typography. Let's get into something you love, typography.
I love some typography.
Script font pays, and this is referencing the Wisco across the front. Script
and
font
the W on the hat.
Oh, the W on the hat too, right? Which looks a lot like the Washington Nationals, but I digress.
Yeah.
Script font pays homage to the American Association Milwaukee Brewers Baseball, club of the early 20th century. Melded with classic aesthetics of Wisconsin supper clubs and brewery label art.
Supper clubs. I mean, they are known for the supper clubs. I don't see how this is tying into any supper club. Whatever. Have you been to a supper club? That's kind of a weird.
I have been to a supper club in Milwaukee.
Oh, okay.
Well, just outside of Milwaukee, actually. It was pretty fun, actually. A lot of drinking was done that night.
Yeah, they know how to drink. That's not an issue. Hence the Brewers.
Everyone's favorite part of this jersey, the bobber icon.
Yeah, I saw that and had an immediate thought, and they addressed that thought immediately.
Tying our state's rich fishing culture, this new mark is a reinvention of the grill patch from the first City Connect.
Yeah. It looked. I immediately saw that grill patch, which was arguably
that was great.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like, you already had the best City Connect uniforms. The Brew Crew they did last year, the year before, whenever that was, the powder blues. They had so many cool little logos. It's just like, why do we need a second one? Just stick with that. It was
MKE
perfect.
hat. It bangs. Yeah. The MKE hat is awesome.
It was like a perfect extension of their current brand. It just kind of built on what they've already established, and just gave it a different look, but it was great. And that's the first thing I thought I saw was that grill, the baseball grill they had. I'm like, well, they just repurposed that, but they admitted it in the description at least to turn it into a fishing bobber, it's fucking cool, I guess.
I'll just finish this for the sake of being completist. A bobber and a baseball perfectly afloat. Okay. Showcases Wisconsin's other favorite pastime, Fishing. In case you guys didn't get that.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Wheat braid, a nod to the farming industry that powers our state and our namesake brewing industry.
Okay. Yeah, we've seen that. They have like wheat patterns.
Yeah, they've had the wheat logo through their career and stuff. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Sleeve patch, a reimagining of Barrelman inspired by American Association's Milwaukee Brewers, sits above the Wisconsin state outline, showcasing Brewers fandom across every county in the state.
Yeah, that logo. Versions of that logo have been around forever, and they've re-embraced those. Those are in the current logo package. When Milwaukee rebranded 6 or 7 years ago, whenever that was, it's kind of a goofy, like making a person out of a keg.
Out of a keg, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like it, actually.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a fun little patch.
Hold on, just a second. Callahan's here.
Oh.
What's going on?
Hey, oh! Hey, how's the Ozempic going?
You can't hear anything.
Hey, you look like a fucking genie. Are you in the Aladdin 2 or what?
He can't hear
you. All right.
Yeah. Well,
hey, after
see if we cut that out or not. We might just
we might leave it in. And last but not least, or maybe least, forward, our state motto. It's a commitment to progress, innovation, and heritage, probably displayed on our collars. Again, for no one to see.
Yeah, but we're going forward. I mean, if that's their state motto, they probably need to work on their state motto. But that reminds me of like such shit you'd see in like a soccer crest or a soccer uniform explanation. Forward.
Yeah.
That's whatever.
I don't know. I mean, I think some of it's good. I think some of it's bad. I'm kind of split. I think it's unnecessary. I think the White Sox 2.0s are unnecessary. When you get it right the first time.
That's the thing. They were perfect. It's another example. The South Side, White Sox South Side City Connects were perfect. They didn't need another version. I think that's the perfect analogy. Sox never needed a 2.0. Brewers didn't need a 2.0. They already knocked it out of the park. What are we doing?
Both of my teams were fine. Who needs a 2.0 is Detroit.
Now, did they get rid? Yeah, I agree with that for sure. Did the Sox get rid of 1.0, the South Side?
I believe
do they have those in addition to the new
I don't know.
Bulls, red and black?
I think it might be gone.
I mean, that's just foolish. They can bring them back if they decide to, but
yeah, I haven't seen it. So
that was one of 8 new City Connect 2.0 uniforms that came out, I think, on the same day last week.
Yeah.
All of them are, I would call them all extremely mediocre, or as the kids might say, mid. Not worthy. We don't have fucking time. They didn't release them all at once like this before. We had time to actually break down each one as they went along in the last couple of years. But these are so boring. I don't feel like we need to break each down. I've got some general thoughts maybe about each of them, but
yeah, I mean, San Diego has one.
That I didn't understand. It looked like they use the same typeface as they did on their 1.0, kind of a surf skate font, but it's just different colors.
Yeah, it's very plain and boring.
Yeah.
As is the Pirates.
Pirates is a new font, but it's, yellow and black. It's an angry kind of a death metal font that they're using for the Pirates. It doesn't look I think their other ones probably said Pit. No, they didn't. They said PGH, I think it was, which it was kind of an odd look. But they were gold, which I thought was at least interesting. They didn't have a gold jersey before that. So
one of the more interesting one is the Baltimore jersey, which has the letter B and more. So it's B more. But I don't know. Every time I looked at it, when I looked at it quickly, the first time I thought it said s'more.
Yeah, it needs the apostrophe.
S'mores. Yeah.
Of course, neither of us live in the Atlantic coast. I've never heard Baltimore referred to as B-more. Have you?
No, I have not.
That just sounds lame to me. But they also changed. They're also using like a green color for some reason.
On the sleeve. Yeah,
there's probably an explanation of that, like a historic thing, but I'm unaware. I think the font they use for the B-more is extremely boring.
Yes.
So yeah, mid. What else we got?
Atlanta looks just like a throwback to an old Atlanta jersey.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this before. Yeah, they've got powder blues with a lowercase a red, white, and blue. Yeah, it just looks like something from the 60s, which is cool.
But yeah,
I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah, exactly. Reds are.
Didn't they do this exact same jersey? I think they
like
did the same thing.
The wavy
but it was,
C. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. They used the same logos they came up with 1.0, and just I think they reversed the colors. I think it was a black jersey with red logos. Now it's a red jersey with black logos.
Right.
Okay.
The Royals did another tribute to the Fountains, but somehow just really made it way worse than their original jerseys.
Yeah, this is like a reverse version
too.
Yeah, I think they did like a blue jersey with these fountain logos all over it, which they're famous for fountains, which I guess you'd make sense because you always saw a fountain in the center field at Kauffman Park. But basically they reversed that, but then they added that like a purple gradient.
Yeah. And this like,
again, my thoughts about gradients, but it doesn't look like a Royals uniform. It looks lazy.
Yeah, it's awful.
And you saw it in the flesh on Sox opening day. Is that what you were saying?
No. They were wearing.
Oh, you were just watching the game.
A game this weekend. They wore them all weekend.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, and then finally, I feel like they just had their 1.0, but the Rangers have the Tejas jerseys, which look just like a Rangers jersey with just Tejas across the front.
I think it looks like a Texas University. It looks like a college jersey. I mean, if it was burnt orange, it would be Texas Longhorns.
Maybe that's what it is then, yeah.
At least they didn't go with Tejas.
Yes, I was hoping.
Which was a hat they released accidentally. That was last year. That was immediately removed because it is a Spanish word for tits, I think. Titas. So yeah, they went with Tejas. But yeah, I immediately thought of Texas Longhorns when I saw that. It's just a block font, really simple.
Yeah.
It's unnecessary.
Again, on all of these, I just go, why?
Yeah.
Other than money.
Well, they started releasing the 2.0s last year as the White Sox got one. They did 8 this past week. I'm guessing every team that did a 1.0 is going to get a 2.0, which means there's some hope that they'll do a decent job with Detroit's for once at least, because 1.0 I think it's garbage. I meant to mention I was at the Tigers game last Saturday, and I did see a few Motor City Connect uniforms, but there are very few. But there were definitely younger kids wearing them. But so yeah, hopefully something cooler comes out. Although the Tigers just released, we already talked about their orange home alternate jerseys and their navy roads, which look fucking great. And of course, it's actually a retro hat. They've had this back in the 90s, but the new hat with the orange brim that I'm currently wearing. But I digress into more Tiger talk after the Tigers talk.
Post-game show is brought to you by Christ, I can't find it. The hell with it.
One guy poured beer all over my head. The guy said, how can you take that? I said, look, that man didn't do nothing. He poured some beer on my head. He's just showing he's a White Sox fan. There ain't nothing wrong with that.
Sparky, a million thanks for, as always, the most interesting interview. And now today, let's just have a lot of thrilling baseball and not so many fisticuffs.
We're at home